Where are your comfort zones? Does anything come to mind quickly? Well, when I think of comfort zone, I think of my hometown. I think of churches where people like me. I think of our den. It's got my impression in the cushion on the couch. I think of our bedroom. I think of our office, places where our books are, where our table is. You know, people come in there. They're on my turf, you might say. And so those are some places that I feel comfortable. That I don't have to worry. And in fact, when Wikipedia defines the comfort zone, it says this about it. It says it's an anxiety-neutral condition. And man, that sounds like a good place to be sometimes, doesn't it? Good grief, with all the people who are clamoring for our attention, everybody that would add something on to your schedule, everybody who needs something from you, and legitimate needs, they can really, really pile up to where you're in a place where your blood pressure goes up, my ears turn red, the heart rate kind of goes, and you feel like you might even stay there for a while. And so I hear that phrase, anxiety neutral condition, and boy, that sounds good. But if you've been listening to anything from leadership stuff in the last 30 years or so, you know that a comfort zone is not the place to be. At least it's not the place to stay. Because when Wikipedia defines the comfort zone, it adds these 6 words to that idea of the anxiety neutral condition. Usually without a sense of risk. And you see, there's the catch. Because if we have learned anything from leadership stuff in the last 30 years, we know that little good is accomplished where there is no risk. That if in fact we're going to get something done, if in fact there's going to be a change to the status quo, then there's going to be some risk in that. As long as we stay in the comfort zone, then we don't get into that risk, and therefore we bring about no change. Now, maybe you're like me, and the context in which you hear get out of your comfort zone the most is when somebody is encouraging us to have some type of good spiritual impact on our world. And the truth is that, you know, as I look around in my neighborhood, there's not a lot of needy people here. And so if I'm gonna really serve the needy, then I'm gonna need to get out of my neighborhood, get out of my comfort zone. There's not a lot of oppressed people in my neighborhood. And so if I'm gonna help those who are oppressed, if I'm gonna bring them some rescue that Jesus would want me to bring them, then I'm gonna have to get out of my neighborhood. And so I say out of my comfort zone in order to do that. But quite frankly, as I think about it more and more, I just don't think that Jesus would be happy to hear me mention getting out of my comfort zone in order to be around the people that I need to help. And the reason for that is because Jesus was never out of his comfort zone when he was giving to somebody, when he was showing mercy to somebody. Jesus could be in the home of a Pharisee or a tax collector or his best friends, and Jesus was just always comfortable. Jesus could spend some time with an adulteress or divorcee. He could be with a soldier or a beggar or a governor, and in all of these places he was comfortable. Can you imagine Jesus even having this thought in his head of, God, thank you for letting me serve these people, and I'm really happy to be doing it, but I'll be so glad when I can get back to my comfort zone. Man, I can't even fathom Jesus saying that kind of thing. And so I'm thinking, why am I saying that kind of thing? And so I've made the determination, I'm not going to say that anymore. And I'm not going to ask people to do that anymore. I'm going to quit saying, let's leave our comfort zone. And here are some reasons why. Number one, because it would just be wrong for me to be uncomfortable around people that Jesus would be comfortable with. Don't you think that's true? That it'd just be wrong for us to be uncomfortable around people with whom Jesus would be comfortable. And then number two, that even though I've probably denied it before, I've got to admit that when I'm around people and I'm out of my comfort zone, they know it. And I just don't want people to think that when I say, hey, I'm going to go home, that what I'm doing is I'm going back to my comfort zone, which they know is away from them. And then the third thing is that I'm going to quit talking about my comfort zone because I want to be a risk taker. And risk takers trust God. And so God gives them a sense of joy, a sense of peace, even in those places where they feel like they're taking a risk. And since I want to be somebody who trusts in God so that I can accomplish some really great things for him, then I'm going to do away with that comfort zone language. Nothing has ever been accomplished by staying on the comfy couch in the comfort zone. So let's close those zones down and let's get comfortable wherever we might have an opportunity to show some mercy.